Have you ever wondered what happens to a country's stuff when that country ceases to exist? Physical things like buildings and weapons, they're easily transferable to other states or organisations. But what about less tangible things? Well, this video is all about domain names, and no, it's not a Squarespace sponsorship. I mean, unless they want it to be. Domain names are pretty important and can be valued somewhere near the GDP of a small country. To be able to understand this video, and yeah, so it's not 30 seconds long, you need to know a bit about URLs and a bit about the Soviet Union. As you've made it this far onto the internet and to this very video, you've probably got a decent idea what a URL is. And you can probably see that it's broken down into 3 pieces. The parts are named the first, second and third level domains, but this way round just to make life annoying. The third level is almost always www, which could stand for Wicked Woodworm, but it doesn't. It stands for World Wide Web. The second level domain is often the fun one. It's the one you can choose for yourself, as long as you've got an idea obscure or unwanted enough that no one's already got it. For example, you could have Fish Hurt My Feelings, Absolutely Cheddar, or even Aucock is the best YouTuber. Ironically, both unwanted domain and obscure domain are not available. This level of domain can even be written in emojis. As of 2018, there were at least 25,000 of these domains claimed, including poopemoji.la and hotsprings.emoji.net, which serves as a kind of urban dictionary but for emojis, and I mean predictably the entries aren't quite PG. Some big companies have even given it a go. Coca-Cola once registered the smiley face emoji.ws for a promotion. They also bought all the ways of spelling the word R from 1H all the way up to 63. The first or top level domain is the one we want to focus on. It's most often .com but can be things like .gov or .mil for other types of websites. There's another set called generic top-level domains, but they're generally pretty far from generic, with examples like .barefoot, .gripe, .hiv, .blockbuster, and of course, .meme. But the other large group of top-level domains are country codes like .uk, .us, and .bs. There are 255 country code domains. Interestingly, the United Nations says there's only 193 countries, and yes, the Vatican does have its own domain. Some countries won the lottery with these allocations because the government sold their licensing rights and made a whole bunch of money off popular domains. Companies like Google using .gl, Bitly using .ly, and loads of people using .tv. Now, onto the Soviet Union. It was a country famous for numerous things, but basically all you need to know is that it was a country that used to look like this until it very quickly looked like this. That's because the Soviet Union ceased to exist in 1991 and became all of these individual countries. But this is where it gets interesting. Country-specific top-level domains took their codes from the ISO 3166. ISO confusingly stands for International Organization of Standardization, and this document assigns 2-letter codes for every country. But they started doing this way back in 1974. The slightly sharper of you viewers might have noticed that 1974 is actually before 1991. So this means that the Soviet Union got our country code. Then, when the country codes were being given out as top-level domains, the Soviet Union got its own. It was assigned to the country in September 1990, just 15 months before the country collapsed. Coincidence? Yeah, probably. The country broke up, and for about 2 years, Russia, the biggest newly independent country, didn't have its own top-level domain. They eventually got .ru in 1993, and it looked like the .su domain would fade into non-existence until it would finally be decommissioned. But the Russian government requested to keep the domain, and in 2001 opened registrations for the domain once again. There are reportedly around 118,335 sites still using the domain, including institutions like the pro-Putin youth movement and the pro-Russian insurgency in Ukraine. Due to the domain's general lack of moderation, it's also reportedly filled with nefarious sites and hackers. Now, before you go running out to grab jujitsu or tiramisu, someone actually already has that one, and disappointingly it just redirects to another website with no mention of dessert. There are some hurdles to getting this domain. Unfortunately, I couldn't tell you what they are because all the rules are, unsurprisingly, written in Russian. This is the part of the video where I'd make some sort of ham-fisted segue to a sponsorship, like, you know where you could learn to speak Russian? Skillshare. But more importantly, Skillshare was built using Squarespace, which you can only access with a password which you can keep safe with Dashlane. That would be if this channel had any sponsors, which it doesn't, so I guess this is the end of the video. So I actually lied about that last bit being the end of the video, because I spent a long time on this end slate and I'm going to use it, damn it. So if you enjoyed that video, why don't you check out one of these other videos, or you can even subscribe to the channel and you'll see more from me in the future. If there's any topic that you want me to do a video on, leave it down in the comments and I'll do a bit of research. Thanks for watching.